I'm not one to read too much into any one thing for some deeper meaning, but there has always been something about the opening to Kingdom Hearts that has always hit me in a way that no other game has. Aside from having perfect gameplay and a story so ambiguous yet understandable, Kingdom Hearts is truly a game that is not talked about enough. The soundtrack in this game alone is enough to make you think you're about to experience something truly magical. Beginning with the menu, we have such a beautiful melody that made me sit and admire the sounds of the ocean, stare at the unique font design, and left me wondering what could this game possibly be about. The Planet B remix of Simple and Clean is one of the first EDM tracks that I ever heard, and to this day I'm speechless at how the decision was made to use EDM in a Disney Final Fantasy collaboration. Creativity was pushed to the max in this game before a time where every corporation decided to be so uptight about working with one another and being all about the money and copyrights. I started the game and played through Destiny Islands and realized I was diving headfirst into an emotional roller coaster of building relationships and quickly getting ripped apart from them. As the story has progressed, I'm understanding that worlds are falling apart, but constantly asking myself, what happened to Riku and Kairi? What happened to my island? And why do I have this mysterious Keyblade? I'm not going to go into the entire story because that could take forever, but I want to emphasize just how much this game hits on an emotional level. The music plays such a massive role in giving me the sense of nostalgia, remembering back when I was younger and life was simple. It wasn't until making this video that I realized I was experiencing nostalgia as a kid. Once you leave Destiny Islands, you never come back, and oftentimes, as I'm exploring worlds and just seeing how much darker and scary the new monsters are, I imagine myself being back there on the sunny beach with my friends. As a kid, I couldn't explain nostalgia because I didn't have any. I was a kid. I don't really remember any memories I had back then, but I was experiencing nostalgia through Sora's adventure. One thing that really stood out for me was when I stumbled across the 100-Acre Woods, which you only discovered through exploration, and coming across that world and interacting with Winnie the Pooh and all his friends. It gave me this sense of sadness and happiness also, because I pretty much forgot about those stories as a kid, and it was the first time that it brought it back, and it was really through this game. Another crazy thing is that the colors in this game were just so dark that anytime I saw lit up areas, they felt so alive, and I wished I could just stay there forever, but there was so much that needed to be done and I was the only one who could do it. Eventually, the more I played, I began to master the Keyblade. I became synchronized with Donald and Goofy and needed them by my side if I was going to do anything and succeed. At this point, I've also built relationships with people in each world that I've saved, and it was so nice to go back and visit and chat with them. Although the dialogue was limited, obviously because the game was so old, they still felt more alive than NPCs in games today. I don't know how to describe it, and I'm sure that's not what you want to hear in this video, but this game truly had a magic to it that I feel like most games don't. I didn't feel like I was checking off a laundry list of quests. Everything I did had a purpose. The game itself definitely confused me trying to figure out where I was supposed to go, but it was really part of the fun and added to the accomplishment in a way that I haven't experienced in other games. On top of that, the game itself was so well made, the combat system was insanely fun to the point where I was constantly going and googling games that have similar combat styles to Kingdom Hearts. The UI was so beautiful, the menus were nice and in-depth, but not overcomplicated. Most issues I have with RPGs is that they're so overzealous with the amount of elements and attributes that it's just overwhelming, while other games may have like nothing at all, and I felt like Kingdom Hearts had a perfect balance. On top of that, all the characters had so much depth, the enemies were all unique, and I would spend so much time reading about their origins and other lore because there was really no major backstory. The story was just happening and you didn't need answers as to why, you were simply experiencing it. By the end of the game, I'd become a master of the Keyblade, savior of worlds, and best friends with Donald and Goofy. I've had countless laughs every time I'd hear my allies take damage and they let out some ridiculous yelp, and my curiosity had been teased the entire time. At no point when I was 8 years old playing this did I ever really feel like I understood what was going on, but I knew that I was battling the darkness and saving lives. The game was insanely dark and serious while constantly pushing the narrative that good will always win no matter what. And just like most animes, throughout the game you would experience crazy moments and then the music would stop and you'd have these really deep monologues which would take you out of the player zone and put you firmly in the story. Overall, you experienced an epic soundtrack, gameplay, and story which really doesn't come by often anymore. And I feel like personally, people don't talk about this game as much, and I'm not sure why. If anyone has any memories or thoughts that take them back, I'd love to hear them as well. Anyway, that's all I have. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this because Simple and Clean played while I was driving, and yeah, it just made me think of this game a lot. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!